my name's Justin Scott and I've been invited to Load Street Studios in Kidderminster to tune the drum kits for them, actually re-head the drum kits. Now, this is the second of 4 drum kits that I'm going to be tuning here. I'm going to be replacing that one, the heads on that one today. So 3 rack toms, 1 floor tom and a snare drum. Yeah, I'm going to get stuck in. I'm going to get the heads down, same as the first drum kit I did, the Premier. All I'm doing is they've asked me just to change the batter heads. I haven't got to change the resonation heads at all. So I better get stuck in because I'm running low on time doing this and filming at the same time. But so as always, I'm just going to take off a single spin of the drum keys, and that's already loose. Look at that. Wow, there's absolutely no tension in these heads at all. I'm up to the point that I can just start taking the heads off. Again, as always, I'll put the drum lug nuts actually in order, so that I don't get too mixed up with them. It doesn't really matter if you do get them mixed up, really. It's just me being quite finicky of how I actually tune a drum. Hopefully this should be a lot quicker than the Premier drum kit that I did, because I've got a platform to work on now. One head off. Right. I've never seen that before. That is ridiculous. I'll be back in a wee moment. Inside this drum, that's bizarre. Is an absolute ridiculous amount of gravel. I don't know how that happened. But I want to clear off my workspace and get rid of all that. It's no use to anyone. One thing I have noticed with this drum, I'm going to bring it over to somewhere. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but every single one of these nuts that are holding this actually rusted, and you can see the rust is actually flowing. It's obviously got wet at some point so much that the rust is actually flowing into the shell. Looks pretty horrible. It smells a bit funky in here as well. So yeah, beautiful drum though. So the drum head goes on again. As always, I'm lining up the drum head with, sorry, the drum head logo with the drum shell logo. So I'm lining those up as best I can anyway. The hoop is just here. So I'm going to take that off. So I'm going to get that straight on there, the hoop, the lug nuts straight in. So just get them threaded so the threads of the nuts meet the threads of the lug nuts meet the threads of the lugs. And just a couple of turns on each. Okay, so as always, once I've got it on, I'm going to spin the keys until they just grip, and once they bite, you leave it. Okay, so the shells, they're all gripping-ish. So what I need to do now is just do one single turn on every single. So just here it's starting to crack now. So now I'm going to just move that out of the way, and hopefully you'll be able to see me do this. Let me just check. Put a bit of weight on it. And back up onto my table. There we go. Oh, that's not fair, you know. I'm just doing this, and it's really quite warm in here. I can hear the ice cream truck outside serving the people in the factories next door. That's not fair. Anyway, so because I've seated it, you can actually see that the lug nuts themselves are actually quite loose again. So I'm just taking them down till they bite again, because most of them aren't. That one's biting. Okay. So I'm just going to take that up and that up, because I could see there was a rivel there. Rivels are basically when the head is actually so loose that it's actually got like a crimp in it. Go. It's biting all the way around. It sounds pretty rubbish, but it doesn't matter, because I've got to put it on the kit and work onto the next drum. Okay, second drum head. So that's not doing anything. Oh my word, that is a Tama power head. That is the original drum head of this drum. Now I believe this drum kit's 10 years old, and that is the original drum head for this drum. Hilarious, hilarious. Right, where's the logo? So the mechanism is actually hiding the logo, the actual there we go. That is a horrible thing. Now, unfortunately, because I'm running at such a small amount of time, I'm not able to clean the shells down as much as I would have liked to. And once again, this one's full of rust. Gravel, you look like gravel, but okay. Now I'm gonna this was set up in such a way that this machine, this mechanism here, was actually covering the logo of the brand of the shell. I'm going to move it over one for the simple reason I like to be able to see the logo. Once again, moving to the right hand side of the logo. They're all going back on in exactly the same space and place that they were before. So, as always, once they're gripping, I'm going to spin the keys until it's gripping. And once again, I'm going opposites. So once I've done those two, I come to the right hand side of the first one I did, and then do the opposite of that. gripping now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to seat the head. Because it's a small head, you don't need to put too much pressure on the head. You won't damage these by crimping them. They just don't. Remo Ambassador heads just don't crimp if they're coated. So I'm just going to make them turn the keys now until the lug nuts start biting on the hoop again. So come up one full turn, well, one half turn. That one needs to go up a bit more because that again wasn't gripping. That's not gripping, so I'll come up again. That is gripping. I won't now go any further with that. That one's not gripping. That one's gripping. So we'll come up again over here. It's quite quiet. And over here. And here. So that's good enough for now for this drum. I'll pop it back on the kit and I'll get the next one up and ready. So in the comment section, if you've got a Tama drum kit, maybe you could tell us what drum heads you use and why. For what purpose are you using your drum kit? What style of music, what genre of music, and what heads do you use for the reason why you use those particular heads. I'm sure other people would love to know what you've got and why you've got that particular drum head, drum head on your shells. All information is good information. Sometimes, you know, people are going to disagree, but it doesn't matter. You use a particular drum head for your reason and your reason only, and that's cool. So I've got the 10 on there. So the hoop, I'm going to take it off one particular section of the drum, as it were. Because again, I just like to use see the logo. So I'm going to go into that. That's on. Once they're gripping, as normal, I'll just give it one turn. That's going to have to go further. That's the second one. So give it a seat the head. And that's good enough for now. I'll pop it on the shell and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm moving on to the tiny little 8-inch drum. Again, it's got what I can tell is the original head for this drum, top and bottom, which I'm quite impressed at. And they actually sound like they've got a little bit of life in, but not a great deal. So I'm going to take off each. Again, these drum heads aren't even, they're not even attached. That's hilarious. In the comments, I know I've asked a few things in the comments, but what size shells do you have? And again, why? What makes you? What draws you to that sized drum shell? And share it with other people, because you know everyone wants to learn. Thankfully, because this is such a small drum, it's only got 4 lugs, so it doesn't take too long to change the head. Oh, I don't believe it. Inside this one is a dirty great big cobweb, complete with dead spider inside the shell. Lovely. I've always wondered what use I could put to these because I don't play with battens. Okay, now the drum has been properly de-spidered. We'll put the head on. Once again, this mechanism had been put over the logo, which I think is a shame, really. But I'll pop it over. Okay, so that's on. Get the lug nuts threaded. Okay, so the shell's on, the head's on, sorry. Very quickly seat it and give it half a turn all the way around. So that is good enough to go on the kit for now. It actually sounds all right. So I'm going to pop that on the kit and bring the snare drum out. So I got the snare drum from the from that kit from the Tama kit over there. This is a Ludwig snare drum. I love Ludwigs. I've got a Ludwig snare drum. Mine's a Ludwig 400 snare drum. Beautiful, beautiful drum kit. Snare drums. This is one of Ludwig's cheaper models. And it's been cranked up on this particular lug. Oh my word. It's definitely been tightened up a lot. Do you know what? The whole shell looks warped. I think the shell just looks a bit warped to me. I think it's had a bit of damage, but I can't work out how. It just looks slightly like an odd shape to me. It certainly doesn't look round. But hey, do the best I can with it. Oh, it's gone on, that's good. As soon as I'm putting these down, they're actually gripping straight away. So there's I think I've got the wrong length drum lug nuts on this. So I don't need to spin the keys on this one, to spin the key, because they're actually already there as gripping. So you just do it with your fingers. So now I'm gonna, doesn't sound very nice at all. So one full turn on every drum lug. Now I'm gonna going to seat the head. And then one full turn all the way around. Again, work, as always, working opposites. That'll do for now. So I'm going to get the kit actually all put together, and then I'll do the basic tuning of everything. And it's time for the primary tuning of it. So I'm going to start with the snare drum. Just see what it happens, because it's a very much a low budget snare drum, but that doesn't mean to say I can't get a good sound out of it. So lose the drumstick. I'm just going to take it right up. Let's see what happens with that. Still seating, so it's still got it's still got that little crack that's coming in, that you can hear the head seating a bit. Okay, give that a listen. Does need a zero hoop or a bit of dampening somehow. The last thing I want to do is put gaffer tape on a drum, because that's just sacrilege. It's be able to make a better sound out of that. What I'm going to do is, I've got another drum kit to do, which I've got a 16-inch floor tom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the old floor tom head and I'm going to cut a zero hoop onto this. So hopefully I should be able to make it sound reasonably good. Well, I'm hoping anyway. Anyway, onto the floor tom. So this particular drum has got like a real high-pitched back end of the set of the note sound. So I'm going to take it out of the bottom head rather than the top head, because you still need the stick response out of the top head. And this is starting to sound a bit better. That's starting to sound a bit better. you want to take it, this particular one sounds like it's a drum that wants to sound quite low pitch. You want to take it as low as you can without making it growl. On to the next one. Sounds horrendous. It had quite a lot of rivels in it. Again, I'm going to have to tune it from the bottom, that particular one. It's really quite high. Okay. Sounds okay. Just come up a bit. On to the next one. Come right up with that one. Still a bit of a growl coming in with the bottom floor. Sounding a bit better. Right, once I've done the basic tuning of the kit, I then try and tune the heads to each other. And how I do that is kind of weird. This was taught to me by a really cool drummer, a guy called Michael Lee. He again used to be Robert Plant's drummer, absolute giant of a man. But truly a gentle giant, and I really do miss him. He passed away some years ago, but he gave me this tip, and I think he played for Little Angels, then he played for Robert Plant, and I believe he then played for Thin Lizzy. Absolute gentle giant of a man, and I do miss him a lot. He's a really lovely guy, or was a really lovely guy. But he gave me this tip. If you give the drum, you want the drums to sing a note, and when they're singing the note, you want to then attack with the kinetics. And how we explain it to you, so you make it sing, and then listen to each part of the note. Gone round it a couple of times, I can hear this one's not quite gelling with that one, so I want to again have a listen to them individually, each part of the drum, and it's up there, it's that one. That sounds much better. I'm going to come back to this because I think I need to deal with that snare drum. So I'm going to leave that there, Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It will help me a lot. Yeah, so I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.